Yo, how's it going, everyone? Thank you, Slavic Chief, for being a channel member for a month. Appreciate the support. Let me just quickly... Hype for next season? Me too. Alright, let's just get straight into it. So, gonna move this down to the bottom. Alright, we're taking a look at some of the move changes. I'm sure you've probably all seen these by now, but if not, then I guess you can see them now. There's quite a lot of things, quite a lot of moves that have been sort of not really nerfed or buffed specifically, just completely reworked. Dennis Reynolds, sup Callum, sorry bro, I kept getting you past 2 days. I was running Ferret Tink. Oh yeah, I think you might be the only person I saw running that team, because I probably did see it about 3 times, and every single time I was just like, oh man. But I did hit Legend in the end, so I'm glad about that. Can finally play Charm next season. Yeah, potentially, if it's I mean, I'm actually wondering if Charm will feel even worse next season, generating energy quicker and still dealing quite a lot of damage. Do I like purple? Yes, purple is my favorite color. Alright, anyways, yeah, let's have a look at these move updates. So I'm just going to scroll through all of them first, and then after that we will sort of have a look at the Pokemon that learn certain moves. Alright, so we got Aura Sphere, first of all. Energy cost decreased. This doesn't affect a lot of Pokemon that already learn Aura Sphere. I think it's possibly only Lucario, Togekiss, Hisuian Decidueye, possibly one other Pokemon. I can't really remember, but quite a lot of Pokemon are going to be learning Aura Sphere next season, so do bear that in mind. Body Slam, not quite as good as it used to be, but better. It's now the same as Swift. All Weather Balls, I don't know why this is written out twice here, but they're all going to 60. That's what they used to be back in the days where like Politoed, Abomasnows, those kind of Pokemon were in their prime. We got Charm, so yes, someone mentioned already. Energy generation increased, and then the actual damage output is going to be decreased by 2, so I don't mind that. It obviously depends how much the energy generation is increased by. If it ends up being like close to like Mud Slap levels of energy generation, then that's just going to be absolutely insane. We've also got Confusion, also energy generation increased. I was actually thinking about this the other day. Obviously, like quite a while back now, not Talonflame specifically, but like Incinerate users in general got a huge buff because Incinerate had like a damage and energy buff. And like generally with higher turn fast moves, you probably want them to be a bit stronger because they are a bit clunkier. They give you less freedom for when you can actually try and make catches and stuff like that. So I was actually thinking the other day, like it'd be nice if some of the 4-turn fast moves got buffed, and Confusion getting a buff. You will see as well later that Volt Switch is also getting a buff, which is cool. Next up, we've got a lot of Dragon changes, and these aren't really buffs apart from Dragon Pulse. They are mostly just changes. So I personally, Dragon's my favorite typing. I do, however, feel sometimes a little bit cheesy. Like if I'm running like some of my Incinerate double Dragon Breath teams, they are a little bit, well, they are very much fast move pressure oriented teams, but that's like basically your only option if you're running Dragon type Pokemon. Now it seems like they are changing it so that it's going to be sort of a nice mix between energy generation and damage output for the fast moves, but then actually increasing the energy costs of quite a few of the charge moves I'm not so sure about. Like for example, Dragon Claw going up to 80 damage. I'd assume that's probably meaning it's going to be like 45 energy. If it's 40 energy, then that's actually just busted, but I just can't see that being the case. So yeah, not being a super cheap move anymore. Dragon Breath obviously going to be a like Fury Cutter Psywave clone, which I think is actually a buff in a lot of situations. Breaking Swipe, energy cost increased. Again, I hope this is only by 40. Guaranteed debuff chance. I hate that wording, guaranteed and chance are like, they shouldn't be together. That doesn't make sense. But anyways, Dragon Pulse is just getting a strict buff here, so energy cost decreased. Again, I hate how they don't tell you anything about energy cost in the game at all, or any of these posts like this. We don't know if this is going to be good, if it's only going to be decreased by like 5 energy. It might not make a huge difference there. And then Dragon Tails, probably similar sort of thing to Dragon Breath. Less damage, but more energy generation. Next up, we got a few flying type moves. So Aerial Ace, energy cost increased, and then damage is increased a little bit. I think this is for Pokemon like Jumpluff, for example. I freaking hate that Pokemon, so I'm kind of happy about that. Drill Peck is getting a damage boost, which is very cool. Honestly, not too many Pokemon run Drill Peck, but I'd assume a lot more will be next season, since since the next fast move is also getting a buff, and that is Peck. And again, we don't know how good Peck is going to be. I think it might have been Yonkus who made a video speculating that Peck would be like a Shadow Claw clone. Same with, I think Leafage. That is the only option for Leafage, to be a Shadow Claw clone. But yeah, like if it's not a Shadow Claw clone, whilst it will make certain Pokemon less useless, it won't necessarily do too much for them. Whereas obviously if it's a Shadow Claw clone, then suddenly it's great, and a lot of Pokemon are suddenly going to be a lot more usable. Sky Attack, energy cost decreased. I think this is more than likely a buff rather than a nerf. Obviously, you guys will probably, well, some of you will remember, but Sky Attack used to be 45 energy, and it dealt 75 damage. And then, or maybe even dealt 80 damage initially, I can't remember. But it got nerfed like a bunch of times. Originally damage nerf, and then they upped the energy to 50, and then to 55, and then maybe added slightly more damage again. But like, I think generally Sky Attack being cheaper is a better thing for it. Then we got Ember, which is just getting completely reworked. So this is most likely going to be a clone of like Poison Sting, Thunder Shock, Fairy Wind, that kind of thing, because 4 damage is not a lot. So you would hope that with 4 damage it has to have like really high energy generation, but again, obviously they don't specify that, so we don't know for sure. But yeah, we got Flame Wheel. Again, we're a bit unsure as to by how much the energy cost is decreased, but 60 to 80 plus decrease in energy is obviously 2 buffs there, so that's really cool. But obviously it was an awful move, and we'll have a look at these moves later as to like what Pokemon learn these moves. Flame Wheel is pretty irrelevant. There's only like 1 Pokemon that's somewhat usable, but it could mean that a few other Pokemon are at least fun to try out. We then got Gyro Ball. Again, energy cost decreased. Don't know how much that's by, so I don't know if that's actually impactful or not. Steel Wing, energy generation decreased. This is likely to just make sure that Pokemon like Corviknight and Skarmory that are getting buffs, well, Corviknight with its Community Day move, and then Skarmory with Sky Attack, aren't like too dominant because they are very RPS Pokemon. We then got Leafage, which will be a Shadow Claw clone, I assume, which would be obviously great. Again, not too many Pokemon actually learn Leafage, so that is a little bit restrictive, but it's still cool to see. Seed Bomb looks like it's going back to sort of like what it used to be. So a bit cheaper, but also dealing less damage. Rock Slide is being reverted back to what it was before it got nerfed, which I think both these moves here, Rock Slide and Smackdown, are specifically because they've just gone and buffed a bunch of flying type and fire type Pokemon. So they're kind of trying to deal with that, but I don't really think Smackdown needed to be buffed here. But it has been, so it is what it is. And then we've got Scorching Sands, debuff chance decreased. I don't mind that. Diggersby is freaking annoying, so we'll take it. We've got Volt Switch, which is going to get a damage buff to 14, so that's quite nice. And then we've got Water Pulse. Again, don't know how much the energy cost decrease is going to be, but it's something. Alright, and then move availability updates. We've got 3 Pokemon here learning Brutal Swing, Salamence, Incineroar, and Turtonator. Crunch is going to be Shelgon and Salamence. I don't really know why Salamence needs to get Brutal Swing and Crunch. I feel like it almost just makes it harder. It makes it harder to get the one that you actually want, because you know, adding two of the same coverage typing moves to a Pokemon is just kind of diluting its move pool. But anyways, we got Breaking Swipe here on Garchomp, which is actually going to be quite nice for it, assuming it is 40 energy and not more than that. Dragon Claw Turtonator is kind of, I don't really know necessarily if this will be exactly what you want. Depends, like, because obviously Dragon Pulse is getting buffed next season as well, and then it's also gaining access to Brutal Swing, which is going to be its cheapest move. It's hard to say whether you want Dragon Claw, whether you want Dragon Pulse, or whether you even want Overheat as a secondary charge move, or if you don't even want Brutal Swing and you just go for 2, well, like a Dragon Claw, for example, and Overheat. Then we've got Flame Wheel Torkoal, so that's the only Pokemon gaining access to Flame Wheel. Torkoal does have Ember, so it's kind of getting double buff next season. Altaria is getting a lot of buffs next season. It's getting a Peck buff, it's getting a Dragon Breath change, it's getting a Sky Attack buff, and it's also gaining access to Flamethrower. So Altaria suddenly going to be back next season. That might be something that some of you guys likes. That might be something that some of you guys don't particularly like, but it is what it is. And then we got Metal Sound on Empoleon and Como-O. I think that's quite cool. Empoleon obviously getting double buff there with the Drill Peck as well. And then Drill Peck, Fearow is going to learn it. So Fearow is going to be a Pokemon to be feared next season because it's got Peck, it's got Drill Peck, and it also has Drill Run. So great coverage as well there. And then Peck to Dodrio, Xatu, and Togekiss. Obviously Charm getting reworked, but Peck would finally sort of make Togekiss somewhat acceptable for me to use, which I think is kind of cool. Then we've got Air Cutter Charizard, which is getting a lot of buffs next season as well, with both Dragon Breath and Ember having, well, reworks. Then we've got a bunch more Pokemon learning Psyshock. We got Alolan Raichu, Xatu, Galarian Slowking, Victini, Delphox, and Aromatisse. A couple of Rock Tomb... excuse me there. A couple of Pokemon learning Rock... well, more than a couple. Learning Rock Tomb. I am very shocked that Rock Tomb did not get nerfed next season. Even if it was just like a slight nerf to the damage output. Because I don't know if you guys saw the Pokemon Go World Championships that just concluded like an hour ago or whenever it was. The usage of Credilli was like nearly double the percentage of any other Pokemon. Like that Pokemon was literally just on almost every single team. But yeah, apparently no nerf to Rock Team. So that means that Pokemon like Druddigon, well, all of these Pokemon learn Dragon Tail as a fast move, and obviously Dragon Tail is getting reworked, so it will get to those moves a bit faster. The winner actually won without Credilli. Well, fair play to them. All right, Crustle learning Rock Wrecker is something that I think everyone's been waiting for pretty much since Rhyperior got it for a Community Day move. Sandtomb, Flygon, and Krookodile. I feel like neither of these Pokemon really want to run that anyways, so kind of irrelevant. Mudslap, Nidoqueen, and Torterra is going to be pretty big for both of them. Hyperfang, Pachirisu. For anyone who's actually built a Pachirisu, that's pretty significant because previously Pachirisu only learned electric type moves. So now, whilst normal typing is hardly great coverage, it is at least a non-electric type move. So you can hit like grass types, ground types, dragon types for something that isn't resisted damage. Swift Kingdra is, well, I'd say it would have been crazy with the previous Dragon Breath. It might be, I don't know, it's hard to say if it would be better or worse with the reworked Dragon Breath, but it is interesting. Then we've got Dodrio also learning Trailblaze, which is very cool. Obviously, Dodrio getting several buffs next season as well. And again, Komo-O gaining Upper Hand. So that's huge for it. It means you can run Upper Hand and Clanging Scales as the charge moves. Then we've got Aura Sphere, learnt by a bunch of legendary and mythical Pokemon, which is really cool. I did actually build a Shadow Latias on stream a few days ago, so I'm actually happy that I'll get some usage out of it. Obviously, both Latias and Latios getting the Dragon Breath rework, so having Aura Sphere as well, which is going to be cheaper, could be quite spammy for them. Raikou, going to be fun. Celebi getting, and Jirachi both getting buffs with Confusion as well, so that's cool. Drain Punch, this is literally completely irrelevant, and it just makes these Pokemon's move pools even... it basically just makes it harder to get the moves that you actually want on these Pokemon until this move gets a buff. So unless we see a buff like mid-season, which I don't think we've seen ever. You guys can feel free to fact check me, I just don't know. We have had like certain moves added mid-season here and there. But yeah, I don't think we've had any move changes mid-season. So this is all completely irrelevant, and especially for something like... let's see, actually, Incineroar, obviously gaining access to Brutal Swing. It's going to be even harder to get it because you've now also got Drain Punch to deal with. Anyways, the final two, we've got Sludge Venusaur, which is a huge upgrade for it, and then Thunder Punch Dragonite. I don't know if that's going to be that great for it. I guess Thunder Punch will be its joint cheapest energy charge move now, since Dragon Claw's getting reworked. But yeah, that's it for the move updates. Now let's have a look at some Pokemon that learn some of these buffed moves. So, I think I'm going to start on fast moves just because it's easier for me to navigate it like that on this other thing that I've got open. But yeah, let's go with Charm first. So Charm, I think most of you probably know this, but it's like my least favorite move in the game by far. Just because it's, first of all, a lot of the Pokemon that I like, by the way, my favorite typing is the Dragon typing. So obviously any Pokemon that learns Charm is annoying in my opinion, because they usually just completely delete my Dragon types. But also it's one of the least resisted typings in the game. So having a fast move that's super oppressive, that's only resisted by 3 typings, means that it can go sort of unchecked and kind of get out of hand in neutral situations, in like the 2 shield scenarios, and even potentially in situations where it's resisted. But yeah, let's have a look at some Pokemon that learn Charm, see if there's any interesting ones in here. So all of these are going to be like, I mean, Wobbuffet, I guess, could be interesting for those of you that don't like finishing your battles within 5 minutes. Pikachu Libre, which we'll get onto later actually, because I managed to hit Legend earlier today. So, you know, maybe that's something that could run Charm. Cubchoo, Delcatty, obviously Wigglytuff, everyone's favourite Pokemon. Daxbun, probably going to be quite annoying with Charm, getting to those psychic things a bit faster. Obviously, a lot of Ninetales getting a double buff. Let's see what else. Brion, I think, learns like Aqua Jet, maybe. So that could be interesting for it. Yeah, Raichu. I mean, to be honest, like Donphan, that would be a bit weird. You got like Tyrantrum, Shadow Latias, and a few others here. But yeah, nothing too exciting in my opinion. Even though it's getting reworked, I still find it hard to get excited about Charm. But let's take a look at Confusion. So, Confusion. Quite a lot of Pokemon learn Confusion. I know there's a few of you who are big Slowpoke fans, which is getting a double buff, actually. So that'll be interesting. We're going to go in like reverse order this time. So we've got Shadow Mewtwo. I don't know how impactful Confusion would be for Shadow Mewtwo. I feel like however much they increase the energy generation, it's not going to reach a Psy Strike in 3 Confusions, in which case it probably doesn't help Shadow Mewtwo out that much. On the other hand, Pokemon like Azelf, Alakazam, Espeon, they've all got cheaper charge moves. I think if Alakazam can get to a Fire Punch in just 3 Confusions, then that could be pretty huge for it. Let's have a look as well. Lunala, I think you'd probably still want Shadow Claw. Tapu Lele, you might want to keep Confusion there as it does have Psyshock. Meloetta, obviously not many people have this Pokemon built for anything, but could be interesting. Galarian Articuno, you probably do want to just run Psycho Cut to get to those charge moves faster. Shadow Gallade could be quite interesting. Hatterini, I don't know if that would benefit too much. It does have Psyshock actually, so maybe that could be good if it does get to 3. If it does get to Psyshock after just 3 fast moves. Exeggutor, I guess with Seed Bomb as well, that could be quite helpful. Kadabra, I don't know if that's gonna make much of a difference, but I'll probably try it out anyways. Jinx could be big with obviously having Psyshock, Ice Punch potentially, or Avalanche if you wanted to go for it. Mr. Rhyme as well. And then obviously this trio of mythical Pokemon here. We got Victini, Jirachi, Celebi, all getting at least double buffs next season, with Jirachi having, well, both of these two gaining access to Aura Sphere. Jirachi, obviously, well, all 3 of these having Confusion. Celebi going to get Seed Bomb, being slightly cheaper as well. That's not in the game yet. Bruxish might actually finally want to run Psyshock as the charge move, which you gained access to a few seasons ago. Shadow Golduck could be interesting. Shadow Giraffe Rig, I've got a hundo for the Ultra League, so that could be fun. I'll definitely be trying it out. Same for Hypno, I have a Shadow Hundo Hypno as well, so I'll probably try both of them together. We got Venomoth, I think you probably still keep Psywave for that. Obviously the Slow Bro, Slow King combination. Oranguru could be kind of dangerous. Which website am I checking this list? So this is Game Press, but it's like supposedly it's like the old site. They have a V2 site, but I find it's much easier to navigate this one, so that's what I'm using. And then for the actual move updates, that is Pokemon Go Hub. That's showing all these changes here, since there isn't actually a blog out yet because they were only announced in the Twitch live stream. But yeah, anyways, more Confusion users. Got like Gothitelle, Butterfree potentially, Bronzong, Swoobat, the other Lake Guardians, Hypno that we mentioned already, all forms of Wormadam. You got Claydol getting another buff. Yep, so we got the Slowpoke and Galarian Slowpoke. Execute as well, for any of you that have an XL Execute for some reason. Venonat. Dustox actually kind of interesting. Dustox is a very bulky bug type Pokemon. But yeah, that's probably it for Confusion users. If ever they bring the Little Cup back, Bronzor is going to be even more annoying than it used to be, which is crazy because it feels like it gets even more annoying every single time. But yeah, more fast moves. Let's have a look at Dragon Breath. So it's going to be quite interesting. Alright, so quite a lot of you seem to have random Hundo, like Dino, Dratini, Frigibax, Vibravas built. Just weird shit like that. So that would be very cool to see. I might end up building a few weird stuff like... I've already got Frigibax, but yeah, could end up building some other things like that. We got obviously a lot of dragon types here. Shelgon gaining access to Crunch next season. I think it's got like Crunch and Flamethrower as charge moves that you'd probably want to run. This thing is not out yet. But yeah, obviously a lot of dragon types. I'm quite excited to try out Latias and Latios, since they're both gaining access to Aura Sphere as well. Obviously, you guys know I love my dragons. Zekrom, Reshiram, Kirim, quite fun to use in the Ultra League. Palkia, Dialga, I have to give those a try in their shadow forms in the Great League. And yeah, we've also got Charizard as a legacy move here, which should also be very interesting. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Don't need to spend too long on that. Next, we're going to go with Dragon Tail. Makes a lot of sense. They're in alphabetical order, so I should be able to find that pretty easily. There we go. Alright, so I definitely know at least one of you has a Jang Mo-O built, so lucky you. We got like Tyrant, Drakloak, Arbok, Zygarde getting a rework. Got Guzzlord, Milotic. That could be interesting with the Wrap edition a few seasons ago. Actually, this season even. We got Lugia, which would be getting to the Charge Attack Fly and Aeroblast a lot faster. Could be very interesting. You probably don't want to run Dragon Tail on Aggron, but it is an option. Flygon, obviously. Pretty cool. And then, yeah, obviously a lot more dragons here. We got Fracture, Druddigon, which is getting buffed as well. Como-O, Giratina Origin Form. You probably still want to run Shadow Claw there. But yeah, some interesting Pokemon here. Yeah, I don't know if depending on how much energy Dragon Tail generates this season, I don't know if potentially you might want to run it over Dragon Breath. It's probably quite unlikely, given that Dragon Breath will be a Fury Cutter clone, and Fury Cutter is basically like one of the best fast moves in the game right now. But yeah, if it's somehow better than that, then you potentially might want to run Dragon Tail on your Palkias. But yeah, next fast move we're going to look at is Peck. So Peck is... This is the first one where you probably don't even know which Pokemon learn this fast move, because it's never been good. It's never been usable. Alright, so here we go. Peck. Right, so none of these are really relevant. I do have a Hundo Inkay built, so you probably still want to run Psywave there, but it's an interesting thing. Goldeen potentially, I think it gets into like maybe the 1200 CP range. Natu is something that I've considered building. Carablast learns Fury Cutter, so you probably don't want to run it, but for coverage, maybe it could be good. We got someone asking what music I put on my video. Yeah, so in the description of the live stream right now, there's a link to my music playlist for the songs that are in the background of this stream, and all of them have been made by myself. But yeah, we got Doduo, Rufflet, Fletchinder, Dartrix. These are all very cool Pokemon that learn Peck. We've got Trumbeak as well, Combuskin. Let's actually have a look at Combuskin, because I don't know... Come on. Why is it not doing anything? Why is it frozen? There we go. Yeah, so having access to Peck and Ember, both fast moves getting obviously a buff. You then got Rock Slide, which is getting buffed, and then you've got access to Flame Charge to boost up your attack, which probably doesn't help that much given that Ember's not going to do much damage, but still interesting to see. Seeking, so for those of you like, I don't know, used 3 Elite TMs on a Seeking, you probably want to get, yeah, the song is part of the playlist, so you can still use the same link. But yeah, Seeking, you probably want to get rid of Poison Jab now for Peck, if Peck does end up being a Shadow Claw clone. Shadow Murkrow is a very interesting one, which I cannot wait to use. We've got Talonflame, which you probably still want to use Incinerate, but Peck could help it out in obviously certain matchups where fire is resisted. Maybe for certain limited metas, Peck could be recommended. Again, Malamar Psywave is just going to be better for it, but again, if there's, I don't know, certain metas like the Psychic Cut, for example, where you don't necessarily want Psychic type fast move damage, then Peck could be quite useful. Then yeah, we saw already Fearow getting several buffs, Chatot as well. Hopefully some of you guys should have this Pokemon now, since it was featured in the recent summer concert event. But yeah, having access to Nightshade, which is a decent ghost type charge move, and then Sky Attack also being cheaper, this Pokemon could be somewhat usable now. Toucannon, hope you guys TM'd away frustration on your Shadow Pikipeks. Might also get a community day very soon, so this thing could actually be quite fun to use. And then obviously Shadow Haunchcrow, the original Boombird, one of my favorite Pokemon, which is kind of fallen off a cliff recently, but obviously Sky Attack going to be cheaper next season, and then obviously Peck going to be so much better for it if it is a Shadow Claw clone. I don't even know what Barraskewda is, but that is interesting. I kind of want to look at it, see what the heck this thing is. Alright, so again, it learns Peck, Aqua Jet, Close Combat, Crunch. That is actually quite a cool moveset. I'm sure they'll somehow nerf its moveset before it gets released, but that is very interesting. But yeah, anyways, that's it for Peck. Let's have a look at the next fast move, which is going to be Ember. So I have actually looked at Ember recently, since obviously it was buffed this season, but since it basically doesn't do anything better than Incinerate, there's just no reason to use it. Whereas now it does at least generate energy faster than Incinerate. It doesn't deal much damage, but it is definitely interesting. So you got the likes of Flareon. I still think for the most part Pokemon that do learn Incinerate probably aren't gonna run Ember, but it is at least something different. Thank you Legacy Sunshine for being a channel member for 12 months. Very much appreciate the support. Someone asking, will Peck be a Shadow Claw clone? Else won't make any sense. Yeah, so yeah, I personally think if it's not a Shadow Claw clone, it probably isn't relevant. So I would definitely recommend, if you're wanting to build any Pokemon that are gonna get buffs next season, if they're buffs related to like energy cost or energy generation, don't use any TMs yet or build that Pokemon yet, because you don't know how good of a move it's going to be. We can speculate, but like Niantic in the past, or Scopely, I don't know who's in charge these days, but whatever the team is that's working on the PvP move updates, they have done it in the past where like they've taken an absolutely awful move and then made it like literally generate 1 more energy, to the point where they might as well have just not touched it at all. They did it with like Astonish, where they buffed it like 3 or 4 times before they finally made it a good move. But yeah, I would definitely recommend, for the moves where there's some uncertainty as to the exact stats that they'll have next season, wait until next season before you decide to build any Pokemon or change any moves, because yeah, it's quite difficult to know. But anyways, we've got, so yeah, where is it? Hisuian Typhlosion, that could be interesting. Obviously it has Hex at the moment, which is pretty good, but obviously Ember being, well, generating slightly more energy, we're hoping. would be very cool. Yeah, they did rework Acid and make it busted, but that's just one example. There's probably quite a lot of other examples, like Metal Sound, for example. It got buffed this season, but it also got buffed the previous season, where that buff did literally nothing for it. So, I just wouldn't make any changes to movesets until you know exactly what the stats are going to be. But yeah, anyways, we got like Shadow Magmar and Magmortar, which actually Magmortar doesn't learn Ember, so just Shadow Magmar. That could be interesting. Obviously it learns Karate Chop right now, but you might want the fire type damage in certain situations. Pignite I actually think would be kind of busted. Let's just quickly have a look, because I have this Pokemon built. But Pignite having access to Rock Tomb, getting there really fast with the what we assume to be like a Poison Sting clone with Ember, getting buffed next season, and then you've also got access to Flame Charge to boost up your attack as well. Could actually be fairly decent next season, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, we got Shelgon, probably not going to use it. Braixen could be interesting. Ponyta is one of the few Pokemon I was mentioning earlier that does actually have access to Flame Wheel, but I think these charge moves, they're not the best, so it probably won't be usable still. But we've got Lampent. This Pokemon does not learn Incinerate, so could be interesting. Currently you'd run Astonish. Oh, this is actually a Pokemon with Flame Burst as well, so this could be pretty fun to use next season. So actually no, never mind. I'm thinking of Flame Wheel. Flame Burst is not being touched, so hold that thought. It's probably still not going to be that great, but still could be slightly more usable, or possibly not, actually, I don't know. But we are also going to see Turtonator. You're probably just going to run Incinerate. We've seen already Combusken, Charmeleon, Onferno, Quilava. I don't think any of these Pokemon are going to be particularly good. Larvesta, on the other hand, does actually have Flame Wheel, so could be interesting for it. Let's see what else. Houndour, however you pronounce it. Could be a fun one. Hisuian Growlithe, getting a double buff next season with Rockside obviously returning to its former glory. Could be fun. Obviously spoke about Torkoal gaining access to Flame Wheel and having Ember, and then you've got the choice of Earthquake or Solar Beam as the sort of nuke coverage charge moves, and Overheat as well if you wanted to just go fully fire. Fletchinder, Magby could be cool. Cast Form obviously. Salandit, kind of excited by, because it's getting a double buff next season with Ember and Dragon Pulse, and I do have a level 50 Salandit built because I'm weird like that. Sizzlipede as well, I've got that built, so that could be fun. And then yeah, the further up you go, the sort of more useless these Pokemon are. But yeah, that looks like a pretty fun one. Let's keep on going. Leafage, we don't really care about Steel Wing since it's a nerf, but yeah, Leafage, there's not too many Pokemon that learn this fast move. Why does it keep resetting each time? Leafage, right, so Leafage, you're gonna see, yeah, not a lot. It's basically Decidueye, the Meowscarada line, Dartrix, oh yeah, the Dartrix, Decidueye, the Meowscarada line, and then Abomasnow. So not really too much to talk about there. Obviously Abomasnow getting quite a decent buff though, with Weather Ball dealing a little bit more damage as well. But yeah, let's just skip over that because not too many things there. And then is that it for fast moves? Volt Switch. So let's do that. Oh, that is still alphabetical order. Cool. There it is. I definitely know my alphabet. Alright, so Pachirisu could be a bit of a problem in certain limited metas next season. Obviously, we don't know what cups we'll get next season, so hard to say. But for example, if there's a cup where maybe not too many ground type Pokemon are around, Pachirisu could be kind of dominant there, and it's obviously very difficult to obtain. Clink, we got Alolan Geodude, which would be cool since it has access to Volt Switch, Rock Slide, and Rock Tomb. So obviously Rock Slide getting buffed and Volt Switch getting buffed, pretty big for it. Let's see what else. We got the Magnemite line, the entire evolution line. Obviously they just got buffed as well with gaining access to Metal Sound, but you have, whoa, what's this? I don't know what that means, but we'll just say wait. I forgot what I was talking about there. Oh, the Magnemite line, yeah. So that could be interesting. We got Galvantula, which got buffed with Fury Cutter this season, but now you could also run Volt Switch. You got Alolan Raichu, Mew, which probably wouldn't want to run Volt Switch on, but you could do. Ampharos could be kind of hectic there with Trailblaze as well. Same as the Raichu and Alolan Raichu having access to Trailblaze. I don't know why. I think my page has become unresponsive. There we go. I can finally move it. You got Vikavolt and Charge Bug, which are Comday moves. I don't know why it scrolled all the way down there. Heliolisk, obviously Breaking Swipe's getting a rework. So, well, it's going to cost slightly more energy, but still could be kind of crazy with Breaking Swipe and Parabolic Charge, plus the buffed Volt Switch. Raikou obviously gaining access to Aura Sphere could be very fun. Tapu Koko, Reggie Alecki could be kind of insane with Volt Switch, plus the Thunder Cage combination, debuffing the opponent's defense, and then obviously Thunderous as well. Could be kind of crazy with the Wild Bolt Storm debuff. So those are pretty interesting options there. As Shenanigans Stone has just pointed out, 99 people viewing the stream right now and only 11 likes. So either you guys just don't enjoy this content and you've forgotten to click off the stream, or you guys are enjoying it, or at least are somewhat interested, and you guys should definitely leave a like because it does help the channel out. But anyways, yeah, we're going to carry on. I think, to be honest, the fast moves are probably more significant. Like, the charge move changes are only going to be like, okay, Aura Sphere is kind of significant, but we've had a look at that already. A lot of them are only going to be like changes by like 5 damage and stuff like that, so we can probably just breeze through these a little bit faster. So like, yeah, for example, Drill Peck's only going to deal 5 more damage. Let's just have a look at the sort of big change ones that we think there might be. So Water Pulse, probably only going to be by like 5 energy, but oh, why does it keep doing that? But that should obviously be a nice buff, double buff to Slowpoke, which we mentioned already. I know we've got a few Slowpoke fans out there in the comment section right now, so make some noise if you're a Slowpoke fan. We got, let's see, Rock Slide. You're probably familiar with the Pokemon that learn Rock Slide, since it used to be a very good move and it's still pretty usable. Gyro Ball is quite an interesting one, so let's go have a look there. Oops, that's the wrong thing. Why is this being so slow? Alright, so we've got to go to charge moves now. Alright, sort by that. Right, so what do we just say? Gyro Ball. Okay, big advert there. Alright, so Shuckle and Bronzor. Oh my gosh, they better not be bringing back the little cup, because that's going to be freaking annoying as heck. Alright, so let's look at some of the more attack weighted Pokemon here. We got Aegislash Blade Form. So if it kind of depends, but if it goes to like 50 energy, then This could be pretty significant for this Pokemon because it can actually now finally double up on charge moves before switching forms. Revavroom, I have a Great League Revavroom, which is pretty cool, and it definitely needs a buff because Gyro Ball kind of just sucks at the moment for it. Mew, probably not going to run it. Scolipede is coverage, but I don't know what it's coverage for. Like, how does the Steel typing help when you're a Bug and Poison type Pokemon? Same for Chestnut. I don't know if it... I mean, Chestnut's actually a bit better because you're weak to Fairy type Pokemon. Togedemaru could actually be good there for it, since you'd have a usable move that can deal some damage that isn't Wild Charge and going to debuff your defense. No one's going to be using this Pokemon. I probably would do if... actually, what CP does this Pokemon get to? Let's have a look. What does it say? Yeah, I mean, to be honest, with only Steel type moves, it's probably kind of useless, but it is something to think about at least. But yeah, Alone Sandslash, unless it's like a really good move, I think you probably do still want to just stick with the... What is happening? You probably do want to just stick with Ice Punch and Drill Run. Hitmontop, probably not going to be useful still. Miltank could be interesting. Obviously, Body Slam getting a slight buff again. Typically, you'd run either Thunderbolt or Ice Beam, or potentially even both of those. But Gyro Ball just gives you, something else to think about. Claydol, again, getting another buff. So it gets buffed like basically every single season. Metang's actually kind of big for it. Obviously got buffed with Fury Cutter and Psyshock recently, so Gyro Ball was the only move really that wasn't great for it. So now obviously Psyshock, great move. I don't know why it doesn't say Fury Cutter here, but it does learn Fury Cutter. Anyways, oh my god, what's happening? Varoom, Alone Sandshrew. Sandshrew is probably more important than the Sandslash, just because it runs Night Slash and then possibly Blizzard or Gyro Ball, depending on what you want. Both of them are quite expensive, whereas if Gyro Ball does cost less energy, then it's obviously going to be a lot better for it. And then everything else is pretty much useless. Whirlipede you could use, is quite a bulky bug type Pokemon. But yeah, let's have a look at what else we've got. Flame Wheel, not going to be too many Pokemon that learn this move. Off the top of my head, I think it is just like Alola Marowak that's going to benefit from this. Right, here we go. Flame Wheel. Alright, so whatever the heck this thing is. Ponyta, Monferno. I mean, Monferno did get buffed with the Ember. So let's see. Yeah, still low sweep is its only other sort of coverage move there. Not ideal for it. Growlithe actually could be kind of useful. Obviously getting buffed with Ember and Body Slam and Flame Wheel. So getting a triple buff there for the Kanto Growlithe. Oh my god, why does it keep doing this? But yeah, basically just Shadow Alola Marowak. Oh my god. Right. Let's see if we can just get through this. Thank you, Lone Star. 7 Lone Star 7, Eric M, in brackets, for becoming a channel member and being a channel member for 16 months now. I don't even know how long I've had memberships, but that is a long time. Don't think Shuckle is Little Cup eligible. It depends. Sometimes it is eligible depending on what rules they do. If it's the Little Cup where you can only use Pokemon that can evolve but haven't, then obviously it's not available. But for certain ones, it is usable. Usually it's the Little Cups where it's also Catch Cup. So they're basically wanting you to build a whole brand new Shuckle and Bronzor and everything like that. That's caught this season, so that's pretty crazy for them to expect that. But people do it because it's just the easiest way to climb Elo. in a cup where Shuckle is the best Pokemon, to just go ahead and build a Shuckle. But yeah, that's basically it. I think maybe Dragon Pulse is the other one that's getting like a significant change, where you might not know every Pokemon that learns Dragon Pulse. So let's quickly have a look at that. Alright, so first view, probably not going to be too relevant, but Salandit, relevant to me at least. Obviously, I mentioned already, getting double buff. Altaria, oh my god, I didn't even think about that. Let's have a look at how many buffs Altaria is getting next season, if the thing cooperates. What is happening here? Oh. It's being very slow for some reason. Alright, so let's have a look. So, Dragon Breath. Oh, no, not that. So, Dragon Breath and Peck, both getting buffs slash reworks. Sky Attack, getting a rework. Dragon Pulse, getting a buff. Dazzling Gleam got buffed a couple seasons ago. So, basically, Altaria stocks are right back up there. Obviously not very spicy, but just thought we'd mention it. Yeah, obviously mostly just dragon type Pokemon. It does depend how much energy it actually costs, because at the moment obviously we know that Dragon Claw is going to cost more energy and Dragon Pulse is going to cost less energy, but it depends like how similar they are, because a lot of these Pokemon do also learn, like Dragon Claw, they learn cheaper charge moves, so not necessarily. It's hard to tell if you'd want to run Dragon Pulse on some of these Pokemon, for example. But, yeah. Obviously, Salazzle. That could be big for Salazzle, I think. But that's pretty much it, I'd say. Actually, I guess Shelgon as well. Having Crunch, Dragon Pulse, and Flamethrower as options. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So, let me know in the chat, what is your favorite move update that's confirmed next season? Oh wait, actually, let me move that for a sec. Back up here. As I reconnect my phone. Weatherball. Which Weatherball user are you most excited about for next season? Hopefully Ember will be a Fairy Wind clone. Yeah. Lapras has Dragon Pulse as an Elite TM move. That is actually a good point. Gonna do it. Excited for 4 times buff Shelgon. Yeah, Ember, Dragon Breath, Dragon Pulse, and Crunch. Let's actually just quickly have a look at the buff moves again to remind ourselves. This is most of them. Favorite one is Dragon Breath. I love using Regidrago already, so it being launched to the top is amazing. I do still I don't think Regidrago is really going to be the best Pokemon next season, because it does have 0 coverage, and potentially with Charm being a more flexible move, Fairy types might actually be a bit more common. Vigoroth, I don't think the Body Slam and Rock Slide buffs are going to be enough to sort of bring it back to close to what it was, unfortunately. But if you enjoy it, then fair enough. Let's see what else people are saying. Ice and Rock Weatherball. Counter is still bad, yeah. I mean, it isn't like a horrible move or anything, but it's obviously just nowhere near as good. Pacing wise to those 35 energy charge moves. Looking forward to Charizard. Is that specifically with Ember or Dragon Breath? Excited for my Rainy Cast form. That is interesting. Happy Charm is getting a bit of a rework. Hopefully less of a degen move now. Yeah. Although, yeah, like I mentioned, if with all these dragon types getting reworks and Charm being sort of maybe considered a little bit less toxic, do we see more Charm users next season? There is the potential for that. To be honest, my number one's still gonna probably still gonna be Shadow Giratina. Just realised they're buffing Shadow Giratina. Well, his pacing is going to be slightly worse, I think, with Dragon Claw likely being a 45 energy charge move. What am I most excited to try out? That is a good question. I honestly can't tell you. I think probably my Shadow Latios, which I'll likely run with Dragon Breath, Aura Sphere, and Luster Purge. If Aura Sphere ends up being like a, I don't know, 40 or 45 energy charge move. Someone's saying Breaking Swipe users, Steelix and Garchomp. Gonna build my rank 92 Shadow Ember. Ember and Rockslide looking solid on it. Main issue is Steelix will get both Dragon Tail and Breaking Swipe rework. Yeah, so it's probably still gonna get to the Breaking Swipes as quickly as right now. Kind of curious about Celebi. Plus Basti got buffed. Yeah, I don't know why they needed to do that. That was very unnecessary. But I guess certain Pokemon that I've got built are going to be slightly more usable, like my Shadow Rampardos. Now obviously getting a Smackdown and Rockslide buff. But I'm probably the only one going to be using that Pokemon, so not a lot of people are going to be benefiting. Excited for Murkrow for Double Fly move buff. Yeah, that is going to be really cool. Feels like grass types are going to get even harder to run next season. Yeah, probably. They keep on buffing Pokemon that are good against grass types and flying types. You got the dragon buffs, you got more fire buffs. But is what it is. Have you looked at Combuskin? Yeah, we did. We saw that it obviously learns Ember and Peck, as well as Rock Slide. Excited for the Crustle buff. Gyarados is my meta core breaker pick. That'll be, yeah, it'll be interesting actually. Alright, anyways, now that we've done that, I just realised it's very close to tomorrow for me now. So I can't even take advantage of like the extra battles for Go Battle Day, but gonna move this down real quick. Oops, it's disconnected. Give me a second. Let me move that back up whilst I reconnect my phone. This has not been on for a while. Right, I'm not planning on doing like a ton of battles by any means, but I don't know if I mentioned this in my Discord, and obviously if you are able to read the title, you probably recognize that if I have the potential to catch a shiny Pikachu Libre, then it means I hit Legend. So that will be tomorrow's video, hopefully, if I have time to make it. But what I have not done is... Oh, that's actually interesting. So... Ah, that's interesting. So for the Legend set, I was wondering, like, if you've got 3 encounters there, do you just get 3 Pikachu Libre if you win 5 out of 5? But obviously that's not going to be the case, which means, unfortunately, I'm going to have to get 3 wins to get a Pikachu Libre, which I was hoping I could do in just a single win. But it doesn't really matter anyways, because we are, like, literally 1 minute away from midnight anyways, so... I've left it too long anyway. So yeah, basically I don't have a specific team that I want to run. Do you guys have any suggestions for some Pokemon? Wait, I can't even select. Ah, that's annoying. Alright, so we're gonna have to try and gonna tank Elo and Smurf for the shiny. I wasn't planning to. I was hoping to just get one win and then get the encounter on the first win, but that looks like it won't be the case anymore. So now I've actually got to try and get 3 wins. So that's awkward. Maybe this is not going to work out the way I was hoping it would. But yeah, I don't have a specific team that I plan on using, so any suggestions for some Pokemon to run? Oh yeah, I'll give you a sneak peek of the Legend team. So someone mentioned on a video a while ago saying like, actually let me just try find the comment of it. Bear with me. Oh yeah, so it was by Champion Mickey. He said, hear me out, Callum. I know you love your spice, but let's say hypothetically you use the next week to climb Elo using whatever picks you want, whether that be meta picks or spicy picks. I think you find them easier. What the hell? I can't even read. You'll find the meta is much easier to read above 2,500. I know you're capable of getting there, and I think you'll find it easier to make content when you know what you want to run and what you're trying to counter. And basically, people were suggesting like, oh yeah, you should. Oh, what? How's my phone disconnected again? Brilliant. I don't know why that keeps happening, but it is a little bit frustrating. Alright, there we go. We are back. Hopefully, it's not going to disconnect again. But yeah, basically, a few people suggested like, you know, why don't you try and hit Legend? And I think for the most part, I don't really care too much about hitting Legend. It's obviously my preference is running Spice and just bringing as much unique content as possible. But like, I have the capability to hit Legend, but obviously sort of hold myself back when I'm running the sort of spicy teams that I do run. So I was like, you know what, it's Go Battle Weekend. I have basically showcased all the new Shadow Pokemon. I didn't really have anything to showcase at this point, so I was like, I might as well just do a bunch of battles with a usable team. And so, as Dennis keeps on mentioning, as unfortunately he hard counted me several times on our way to Legend. But yeah, I ran, where is it? All the way down here. I ran 2 new Shadow Pokemon in Talonflame and Giratina. Yes, I know Giratina is top meta. It's I'm running it on Dragon Breath, which I think is like ranked 20 or something, so it's not as highly rated as everyone said it was. It's not rank 1 by any means. But then I'm also running Dragapult, which I call Giratina at home. But essentially the theory is Giratina is there to bait out the things that Dragapult is going to struggle against, and then hopefully that gives Dragapult a sort of clear path to just absolutely dominating teams in the end game. And it worked out for the most part, obviously, as I was able to gain just over 500 elo in a day and a half. So yeah, that's the team I ran. I'll make a video tomorrow, hopefully, if I have time. But yeah, actually, I don't know what team to... people are saying, let's see it in action. Is my sound on? Whoa, what the hell happened to the map there? That was strange. But yeah, what do we want to see? Do we want to see some Incinerate Double Dragon action? Do you want to see the actual team in action? Or do you want to see something else? Yeah, I am realizing as well, like, I thought I'd have to just get 1 win, because throughout the whole Go Battle Weekend, the win was just the first one, but I guess when you hit Legend, it only forces you to, well, you can only get one encounter with Pikachu Libre, so I guess that, oh, why is it disconnected again? What the fuck? What the hell? Alright. My god. Just let this thing work. Oh, it changed at 8 PM today. Why did it change at 8 PM today? That's, strange. Before 8 PM you could get 3 encounters if you won 5 times. Yeah, so why did it change at 8 PM? What was the reasoning behind that? Does anyone know? Because obviously it was still Go Battle Weekend until midnight, which was a few minutes ago for me. But yeah, I hadn't realised that, otherwise I would have probably done it. That's when it ended. But we're still able to battle past 8 PM. Because yeah, on the thing, it's not going to show anymore, but it did... I might as well claim that. It did show here that the Go Battle Weekend ending at 12 PM for me, so that is annoying. But yeah, I guess we'll just run the team. I haven't necessarily seen anyone requesting too much. Someone asked for Cherrim, but I don't know. I think that's a Pokemon for when it gets buffed next season, I reckon. Do I have a Rotom built? I've got, I think, 2 Rotom built, but they're both meh. So I've got the Fridge one, which got Thundershock, Thunderbolt, Blizzard, and the Lawnmower. But I don't have the regular Ghost Electric one. Aegislash, if you have one. I do not have one. So I will not. Catch Stonejourner. It's my daily spawn. I like to keep it there until like the last 6 PM balloon, just because sometimes, you know, when you open the game, your daily spawn doesn't pop up straight away. So I use that as like a metric to see like, oh, my balloon is still here, or oh, I must have opened the game earlier and forgot to do my balloon or something. Was going to suggest your Incinerate plus Double Dragon. Glad you made it to Legend with your signature star team. Thank you very much. Yeah, I guess we'll just go with this team then. Although, alright, now I feel like we're putting myself on the spot a little bit here. I should know the ins and outs with this team. I'll obviously, when I make the video for it, I'll like sort of walk through the Pokemon that are sort of good or bad into it. So for example, this is a good lead. However, sometimes you will see Bastiodon in the back with Shadow Marowak. So what I typically do is I'll just go over. If they look to throw a Rock Slide straight away, then that's fine. They actually don't throw a tool here, which is very interesting. Typically, they would throw a move first, and they do shield as well. So at this point, they have got 2 moves. I'm going to just store the energy here. I assume they bait, which they do, and then I'm going to swap into Giratina. Okay, so they do have Bastiodon. So obviously this is not a good matchup for me. However, typically it's a Fortress in the back, in which case my Talonflame is still going to be very useful. So all I need to do really is keep my Dragapult alive. But yeah, obviously this is not a great matchup. It's funny because I'm used to Dragon Breath users doing 2 damage against Bastiodon because I typically use very attack weighted ones. Giratina is not, so we are doing like no damage at all. I'm basically waiting for them to throw a move here, but they are not. They're probably just going to fully farm me down potentially. So not the best position to be in. Okay, they don't commit to the farm down. Okay, that does not KO either though, so that's not ideal. Alright, so I do have to be wary of the Marowak having a move. They're going to be 1 away from a Stone Edge here. Oh, they swap out though. I guess I just shield. I don't know if Bone Club does more damage than the Bastiodon would do. Probably not. I actually don't know. But yeah, they're going to be one away from a move on Bastiodon. Right, did I give them too much energy there? Is this already a Rock Tomb? No. I think we probably still lose this game. This team's like really freaking annoying. I can't lie. Okay, they throw. Holy crap. They throw a move. Uh-oh. Alright, so that's all of their energy. So we have play here. I think I can just go double Shadow Ball. I'm hoping. Don't let me down, Dragapult. Alright, there we go. That was like the longest battle I think I've ever done. That hasn't gone to the timer. Alright. We get a win. I'll definitely be trying out Crustle with Rock Wrecker. And don't you worry about that. Alright. Yeah, also so my team is very soft into, well, it's not soft, it's just very bad into Bastiodon. Luckily I don't see too many of them. And luckily when I do see them, it is typically that team where the other two Pokemon are very weak to Talonflame, or at least can't really apply much pressure. So yeah, I think if my opponent just didn't throw the Stone Edge there into my Talonflame, they would have won. But we'll take it. Okay, great lead. Funny enough, I actually struggled a lot with Shadow Scissor leads because they would have something like this, the Dene in the back, where I actually just am also really weak to this Pokemon. Hi mate, do the new move, what date do the new move, well I can't even speak. What date do the new move updates take place is what you're asking me. I also wasn't keeping track of their energy there. Are they baiting me again? I've got a double shield mate. Oh dear. You've done this to me unfortunately. I was not paying attention to the battle, and so I've ended up shielding when I didn't need to. And that does not KO either. It's fine, we still got the farm down anyways. I assume they'll just sacrifice the Sizzle. In which case, there's no reason not to full send a Shadow Ball here. And then it depends. Often, there's a Zumaro in the back, in which case I lose. Oh, they actually shield. Okay. I'm still going to reach a Breaking Swipe. And they still need to dip, really. They can get off a Charge move. But they will lose their Shadow Scissor. So, depends what their final Pokemon is. If it's something like a Blastoise, I might still have play here. But let's see. So they are going to throw. So obviously, we're going to take damage here. If it's a Zumaro, I probably lose. But I guess we'll wait to see. Oh, it is not. Okay, we should be fine here. We just grab the final shield. Giratina can tank a move. And then the Dragon Breath will add up over time. Yeah. GG's. Alright, we only need one more win, guys, and then we can claim our Pikachu. Yeah, so the move update will take place when the new season starts. So if Moss is saying that's 15 days from now, then that's probably the case. Is the Libre Pikachu boosted odds? I mean, I think it's better than like the 1 in sort of 500 odd chance, but I don't think it's great. It's probably like either 1 in 20 or like 1 in 50, something like that. I don't know. I don't know anyone else personally that plays PvP or hits Legends, so I don't have like, I don't know anyone with a shiny Pikachu Libre. Moss is saying 1 in 20. I personally don't have one, but to be fair, I only hit Legend like every like 1 in 4 seasons these days. So obviously not had loads of loads of opportunities to hit legend and claim a Pikachu. Alright, also, we've got to pay attention to who we're battling against, because if we do see someone who's on the cusp of hitting legend, I'm not too fussed about getting a win against them, because I did have a couple of paid actors in my final set as well. Although one of them was tanking intentionally because they just hit legend themselves, so that they didn't necessarily give me a win for free. Do you go full meta when going for the legend grind? I used the exact team I'm using right now, which is, for me, full meta, as it's got a Shadow Giratina on it. But the team is Talonflame, Giratina with Dragon Breath, and Dragapult. If we could find a game, that would be great. I only need one more win. So please, just let me do a battle. Legend Q times here. I'm not used to this, mate. Turtonator pacing is crazy. Yeah, that's what Salazzle used to be like back in the day, before Poison Fang got made into a 40 energy charge move. But it didn't really benefit that much from it, because it's so glassy that it would rarely reach more than 3 charge moves anyways. But obviously Turtonator's got a decent amount of bulk to it, so you'd expect if it does run Brutal Swing that it could get to those moves a bit faster. Silly question, but did you make this track? Yes, I did. I actually don't know what track is playing right now because I don't hear it on my end, but every song that's on the we've got a battle. Every song that's on the playlist that you can hear in this stream, in the description there's a link to my playlist, and it's got the 5 songs on my channel. Alright, so Azumarill, not ideal for us in the slightest. So Giratina can... it's the one in my regular vids, yeah, so that's definitely... so in the description of my regular videos, you'll see a link to it. Right, so Giratina can live a play rough, however, it will put me into bubble farm down range, which isn't particularly great. Weirdly, I often get Ancient Power boosts in this matchup, I guess because I throw more Ancient Power boosts than I do in basically any other matchup, but obviously not this time around. Ideally, if I can get them to throw here, that'd be great. Can we get there? We actually die as we get there. That is definitely peak for us. But obviously the aim of this team is to bait out things that Dragapult might struggle with. Unfortunately, wait, what? How did they get to the move there? Alright, they should have been 1 turn behind there, so that's disappointing, for sure. They did a whole swap out, and yet I somehow got the lag. Okay, that's going to be quite costly for me, because I'm now... Well, I can throw both moves here if they want a shield. Azumarill can obviously not store back-to-back charge moves. Okay, they do shield. Alright, this is awkward though. I need to somehow predict they'll swap back in straight away. If I shield this, which I will. But it doesn't matter because they do have a lot of energy anyways, so yeah, they should reach another Ice Beam regardless. But yeah, I think if we actually got our Incinerate through, it's a completely different game. But unfortunately, yeah, since I didn't get to the charge move, I had to play it differently there. So that's annoying. But GG's. Right, we only need one more win, so it's not the worst thing. With what team did I hit Legend? The team I'm using right now. So the Shadow Talonflame, Shadow Giratina with Dragon Breath, and Dragapult with Astonish. Alright, we got another battle. Let's go. Alright. Jellicent. So Jellicent, I actually only saw one Jellicent on my way to Legend in the lead. That is pretty bad for me though. However, I can put him into Incinerate farm downrange, which is not the worst thing. They should farm up to back-to-back moves, but I don't know, maybe one Incinerate KOs from here? Yo, how's it going, Jamie? Alright, well, the ball definitely KOs from that range. That's perfectly fine. Okay, we get the fast move through. That's good. That's the game working the way it should be. Oh, it does not KO. Okay, that's actually better for me. We get an extra fast move through. I assume they'll swap. Oh, they're coming with Jellicent. Alright. What the fuck is this? Okay. Icy Wind. They're on Bug Bite though, so they're really slow to the moves. Bro, what the hell? Alright, fair play to this trainer. But yeah, unfortunately that Pokemon is shocking. Alright, we just need to make it to a breaking swipe here. Alright. It looks like they got one turn bringing leg. Thank you, Habeister, for the donation. Can we get some Shadow Golurk Moltres Machamp gameplay, please? Yes, yes we can. Since we just got our third win. Alright, so let's do this final battle before we reveal whether or not we've got a shiny Pikachu Libre. So we've got Shadow Golurk. Can you clarify that you mean the Galarian Moltres, or are we asking for Kanto Moltres? Galarian not that spicy. Okay, you want full spice. This is the one. Alright, so my Machamp. We've got either one that's on counter, Rockside Cross Chop, or we got double Legacy with Karate Chop, Close Combat, and Payback. So I guess we're going for this. Alright, here we go. Final battle. Because I wasn't planning on doing too many battles on the stream. We've actually got 140 people watching apparently, which is kind of crazy. So thank you to all of you for tuning in. I wasn't planning on doing too many battles, just enough battles to get a Pikachu Libre on stream, which we've now already guaranteed. Thank you, Jamie. Video will hopefully be out tomorrow if I do have time, but I might be busy, so I might start putting it together after this stream. It is already past midnight in the UK. Alright, here we go. Let's see what this team can do. Can we get a win? Oh, well, I should hope we win with this. You know what? We'll do an extra battle because obviously this is... well... yeah. Cool. Alright. Alright, well there you go. Was that win impressive enough for you, Habeister? Obviously not. But we'll what the hell? We'll rerun the team. But anyways, for the bit you've all been waiting for, we get a charge TM as well. Let's go. The team is just that good. Yeah, exactly. Do we get a shiny Pikachu Libre? No. Okay, brilliant. 2 shield flexed. Yeah, I know, crazy. Alright, I don't know why. I always feel like I need to pine up the Pikachu Libre because it's a rare Pokemon, but it's just a Pikachu. Alright. Well, anyways. We climbed up some more Elo, apparently. Alright, let's do this one more battle then, just to actually use this team that was requested. Thank you very much. And actually, just out of curiosity, let's see what the leaderboards are saying at the moment. Alright, rough core breaker. I think we just stay in. Bottom of boards is 30.93. Okay, interesting. I can't be bothered to try and grind out for a leaderboard spot. Oh, fucking hell. They get the boost, of course they do. Whoa. Okay, actually no shield. Right, they must have another answer. Right. Or maybe they just weren't expecting that to... Okay. It's Battle of the Flame Birds. And my one is considerably worse than yours. Wait, hold up. Bro overfarmed. And threw on CMP. We've got a chance. We don't have a chance. Okay. We've unfortunately seen 2 core breakers to the team so far. Please don't be flame charge. Okay, it's flame charge. We might be cooked here, guys. In the literal sense. As I don't know how we beat this thing. Oh, hold up. Shadow Golurk has other ideas. I forgot we had it very close to a charge move already. Okay, we grabbed the final shield, but yeah, shit. If I had cross shop, well, I still can't speak. I'd have gotten to the charge move now, but unfortunately now, obviously they can just throw back-to-back moves. Oh, hold up. Fuck it. There's still no win condition for me, is there? Still though, we made it as close as it could have been. Come on, don't throw. I feel like we did pretty good there, considering what we were up against. Technically, all 3 of their Pokemon beat 2 of mine, so it was not a bad effort. But thank you very much for the donation and the team request. Yeah, unless anyone else wants to donate and pick a team, I think we will just call the stream here. Thank you guys for tuning in, especially those of you who were listening to me rambling on about Pokemon move updates and stuff like that. Thank you guys for sticking around until the end and watching me get a non-shiny Pikachu Libre, which I didn't even check the stats of. It's very meh as well, so that's great. Things you love to see. But yeah, that's going to be it. Hopefully the video of my legend run will go out tomorrow. But if not, then might not be until Tuesday. But either way, thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see